Kiar Kapatisi TV.
Together we achieve, together we can fly, reaching for the sky.
ICFA University, Meghalaya.
Katanat social welfare ka sarkar jalla hakalai phui trek naitung arja pun rio. Klapen banaya ka jing pensyai pajba. Persya drugs, kapal akarteng, oils of the hills. Every beat against drugs. Hapo ka drug reduction, elimination and action mission, dream. Kabakathong, jong jalla, kabakut jingmut banyakon persya. Yaki jingdi ki Sngew, baban kentiu ka kot Khie, kabapura nakabanta kalawai ki kun samla. Haka jingelang lai simbentalang, do advisor katanat social welfare department uba po lingdo. Uklur ak film ka Bollywood u John Abraham. Ubla ajing kersya ni ka jing tumu bakongsan, jong ka jela, banyakon persya yu drugs. Lapin syong shit, yaki nangi simbenta, daka jing syat zumba, belalam kemat, daka dapalay lina warjeri, kabadai ka fitfluenza, bat kabala job ru, yaka youth icon award ahajap sah.
Give Sir Wong a very big round of applause. Yeah, a big round of applause for Marvin. Secondly, I would also big round for Jason. Come on. We would also like to request Sir to kindly felicitate. A big round of applause for Ladi.
Present here. First, I would like to thanks to the government who have given us this opportunity and for giving this awareness program about drugs. Respected Sir, I would like to ask. Respected Sir John Abraham, I would like to ask. Question. Music, fitness, bikes, films, football, you've pursued many passion. Which one have given you the biggest natural high? And why do you think pursuing a passion is more rewarding than chasing temporary thrills? Thank you, sir.
And thank you, Paul, for gracing this occasion. And, I'd just like to first thank a few people. I think Conrad's one of the nicest human beings I've met, our Honorable Chief Minister, and thanking his patronage, Saloni. Roger, thank you, all of you, for making this happen. I've got my teammates here, Mandar and Rohit. And to everybody out here, thank you so much for making this special. Kitkubar, fantastic song. And my condolences, and I'm so sorry about your brother. But we're all with you, and your story is so inspiring. And Dapalai, I came to just stand, and I didn't come to dance. I couldn't keep up with you and your teammates. So congratulations to you, and you're fantastic and so inspiring. And you tried to make me dance. You tried your best, and I did my worst. But thank you so much. But to everybody here and all the students here, who I can see, all of you, a big hi to all of you. And to answer your question, my love, I am very passionate about football. Primarily, I played football in school. I captained my school, then my college. I went on to play first division football in Mumbai, but I could never make it to any place because in my time it was about education and not about sport, which is why today I've satiated my desire to play sport. So fitness, motorcycles, football, these are all passions that I've converted into, professions, things that I'd really like to go ahead in life with. I would like to see, you all understand football, and I've said this before, I'd love to see a Ronaldo or a Messi from India. And I'd love to see that Ronaldo and Messi happen from the Northeast, because we are the hotbed of football in this country, which is why I am here. I come from a city that's very privileged, that's very comfortable, and I was given the option of getting a football team from there, but I chose to come here. I've always been in love with this region, and I really consider myself, when I see when I see stuff about actor, producer, it doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is I'm one of y'all, and we have a football team together. And I want to bring pride to the region. We won the Durand Cup twice. We have a game tomorrow. We also want to win the ISL. And I've let you down in the past, but hopefully now we've got a fantastic team. We've got some great players, and we really want to bring pride to this entire region and tell the rest of India that listen, we're here. Don't ignore us. We're cooler than the rest of you, and we're going to do that through football. And our players are shining examples of how you can excel. And the heroes of my team is my CEO, Mandar and Rohit. They really work day in and day out to get the best kids together. We've got a baby league now. We've got an under 13 team, an under 15 team, under 18, a reserve team, and now a first team. So everything centers around my passion, and my passion is doing good for the country, doing great for the region, which is why I'm here with all of you all. And coming to Shillong and coming to this part of India, there's always a sense of pride, and more important, there's always a sense of belonging. And I feel somewhere in my past life, I don't know, I feel I belong here, and I'm very happy to be here, and I'm very honored to be here. So thank you for accepting me and listening to me patiently, and hopefully treating me like one of your own. So thank you. Thank you.
Excuse me, sir. Good afternoon. I just wanted to ask, imagine Meghalaya like 10 years from now. So what role can today's student, such as us, play in making our state healthier, stronger, and free from the influence of drugs?
That we have in a midst somebody like John Abraham. I mean, 10 years back, it would have been difficult for the government of Meghalaya to even try to induce and invite celebrities from the mainland. But here we have somebody who already claims and tells us that he is a Shillongite. And the extra factor is that you have two saints sitting in front of you, John and Paul. If you were to ask me about, and yes, we have Francis also. The Pope. Media don't report that. But 10 years down the line, things should look really bright for Meghalaya. We have somebody like Kit Cooper, who has already brought laurels to Meghalaya at an international forum. When we were young, our only venues for music was Dina Mahal Jayao, State Central Library, that was Kit. Today, Kit belongs to the second generation of Shillong Chilwa Choir, which had a decade back played before President Obama. And the architect of Shillong Chilwa Choir, Neil Nonkanri, apart from his various achievements, also taught English students. He taught music to them. A Hasi from Meghalaya, and one of his students was the drummer of a band called Radiohead. Wow. How many of you have listened to Radiohead? Yeah. So their drummer was a student of Neil Nonkanri, a Shillongite. That's the potential of Shillong. You look at sports. John, you're coming up with your football academy, which should be ready in the next 2 years. You look at education. We have toppers who today are bringing laurels to Meghalaya. I'll not take more time, but let me just bring a picture of contrast. Yesterday I was with members of the Manipur community. They have been inundated by problems of insurgency, HIV/AIDS, drug addiction. They are at the forefront of the Golden Triangle. There is political instability, and yet their film industry has gone way ahead of the Khasi film industry. They have produced Mary Kom, they have produced numerous Olympians. What does that have to say? It has to say this. And this is my message to our young people today, that what matters is, what matter are you made of? Because an iron, when you hit an iron on a piece of glass, the glass would shatter. Hit that same hammer on a piece of iron, it would mold the iron. Thank you.
Meghalaya Users Forum also have the prophets Nathaniel, Zion, Isaac, me Isaac, like you find that again. Yeah, so my question to Mr. John is that being in the film industry, being surrounded with alcohol, drugs, and all sorts of like negative stuff, what kept you from being tempted to be indulged in that kind of environment? That's my question.
Yeah, Isaac. So I come from a very, when I started, I came from a middle class background. When I was in the 8th standard, my father told me, I don't know how to put food on the table tomorrow. So when you come from a background like that, you either lose your head when you make money, or you become very cautious about your life. I became very cautious about my life, and I said, I should not lose my head whilst all around me are losing theirs. You know, so when I came into the industry, the one thing, another substance or another drug, the biggest drug in that industry is not substance, it's fame. Fame is the biggest drug. And if you get consumed by fame, and if you have an attitude, and if you have an ego, and if you roam around with a bubble that everybody knows me, everybody loves me, and there is no one more important than me, so much so that I can reach an airport and skip every line, or I can show my face and bribe my way into certain functions where I'm not supposed to be there, that's where your problem starts. So I took control of myself from the start. I thank my mother and father. They're my, if I had to believe in a God, it would be my father. He gave me the best value systems, and I said, listen, I need to stay away from the indulgence of fame into my system, and I stayed clearly away from that. I don't have a problem with my industry, because I say this on record that my industry has lovely people in it, but the baggage that comes with it, I stayed away from that very consciously. I chose to, and I still choose to, lead a very middle class life in whatever I do. I have not allowed myself to surround myself with yes men. I have not allowed myself to wear fancy clothes. I have kept myself completely in the zone of being middle class and my values, which is why when you're surrounded, to answer your question, when you're surrounded by alcohol and when you're surrounded by people who consume substances, I chose to stay away because I got scared, and I said, I've worked so hard to come to where I have. I can't lose all that by just falling over the line. And I stepped on this side, and I've always watched the world from this side. The best example I can give you is I wake up at 4:30 in the morning. That's where most of my industry people come home. So it's a matter of choice. I'm not saying what they're doing is wrong. It's their lifestyle. They've chosen that lifestyle. My lifestyle is very different. And I enjoy my space. I like being in an informal space. I like meeting people, I like touch and feel. Like I love to hang out with you guys, chat with you guys in a very informal session and enjoy, and that's the way I like to lead my life, and it's kept me in a good place, and I'm very happy right now.
Every young person in Meghalaya, to help them choose a healthier future, what would it be and why?
Anything that young boys and girls here should learn is that you are living in a space which is so blessed, a slice of paradise. Shillong has been the hub of education for many years, and today, when you look at our proficiency in English, when you look at the number of communities you can interact with, it's a mini world. And we were just talking with John before we stepped into this room that the AQI of Shillong is something that you get to breathe for free. And if you could see the rising number of tourists coming up to the hills, it's also partly because of the rising temperatures across mainland India. With these opportunities, with an academy of football coming up, with the country's biggest stadium coming up in Shillong, with the corridor that links Silchar, Gauhati and Silchar passing via Meghalaya, and with the huge investments that the state government is making in the social sector, and especially in youth-related sector, I can say with confidence that you are poised for a future brighter than the sun. We didn't have the opportunities that you would have today. But when I was in the university at Sngew, in the Department of English, we were ranked one of the top 10 departments in the country. That is something that we have to regain, and therefore I can say with a lot of pride, I'll tell you that when I was sports minister and the winning team was St. Peter's School, I asked each of the cricketers their address. 8 of the entire team were from Dhaka. That's Shillong. So, of course, that's not saying that everything is honky-dory. There's so much more to be done, but I'd like you to be part of the success story. There can never be a government versus you. We all are in this together. Make sure that you are an asset contributing to the growth trajectory of Meghalaya. Thank you.
Question is to Sir John. Before going to Sir John, I would like to really appreciate first the initiative taken by the government of Meghalaya Social Welfare Department in comparing drugs and also looking after the children living with HIV. So first of all, I really want everyone to please huge round of applause for our government. So despite your scheduled time, how do you manage to? I know you work out every day. Yeah. I know you work out every day, 365 days a year, sir. I know. Please, huge round of applause for Sir. So how do do you have a specific time schedule? Do you work out or do you work out any time when you get free, sir?
For the first 2 hours, I read a script. I read a script a day, or I read something that is important to me so I can discipline my mind. It's very important to know what's going on. For example, like Paul said, what's going on in Manipur, or what's going on in Jammu and Kashmir, or what's going on in Ukraine and Russia, or what's going on in Israel and Iran. It's very important to understand what's happening in the entire world, or do things that interest you in that space. So I use my first 2 hours for that on a non-shooting day. Then I train for about an hour, and then I get into my meetings when everybody wakes up. So that's how my day starts on a non-shooting day. On a shooting day, I shoot about 12 to 14 hours a day. but what's very important for me is my dietary habits, my discipline. I've not had a cheat meal in, I think, for many years before you guys were born. It's been about 32 years. I've not had a cheat meal. So, and I enjoy that. So it's not to prove a point. That's a way of life for me, and I really enjoy it, and it keeps me fit. So my aim is that when you guys grow up and you're as old as me, I'll be fitter than all of you when I'm older. That's the idea, right? That's a good idea.
Sir,
yeah.
I've watched the most interesting part of your podcast with Raj. That you comment on that statement that if you die, you will die. Jack! Yo!
That's the way. You always have to stay, you have to stay at your fittest. Again, not because you need to show anybody your abs or your biceps, but it's important to just be fit. Like today I learned from Dapalai, she really made me dance, and I couldn't dance, but she's fantastic. But yeah, stay fit, all of you, and the best way to stay fit is not just by going to gym, but by disciplining your mind. Very important. So discipline your mind. And there is nothing more beautiful in a face than your brain. Your brain is the most attractive and beautiful thing for all you students. So just discipline your mind, because when you can talk in an audience and when you can talk about things that are happening in the world, in your country and in your life, that makes you far more evolved than the person next to you who does not know what you're talking about. So just learn, listen to people, take in the good, take out the bad. Just absorb the good. And that's very important. And that's what I do on an everyday basis. When I was sitting with Saloni, when I'm sitting with Paul, I learn. When I'm hearing your questions, I learn from you. But today, I just want to say this. I learned the most from my friend Marvin. You're a rock star. So, take in as much as you can. Take in the good experiences. Always be happy. Smile. Spread happiness. And the world will be a better place. And there's no better place than Shillong to start with, right?
Thank you so much, sir. My question is, if you were coaching a football team and one talented player had started experiencing drugs, what would you first do as a coach and as a friend?
Question, but I think the first thing I would do as a coach is to be a friend. That's what I'd do. I'd hear him out. Because in our spaces, in social circles, the first thing we do is to judge. He's good, he's bad, he's done wrong. I would not judge him. I would hear him out. I think that's the most important thing to do, is empathy. Talk to him, understand the root cause of his problem and address that. And that's the only thing I can say. That's the first thing I'd do as a coach. He may not be the best player, but you can make him the best human being. That's very important. Thank you, Paul.
Point of time, it is with a lot of pleasure and sense of pride that on behalf of the Department of Social Welfare, I cut this ribbon as a token of the inauguration of this facility for the Tura Center.
Thank you.
We have to look at this problem from a much wider perspective. you have to keep in mind that the problem of drug trafficking is not confined to Meghalaya. It is not even a regional problem. It is a global problem, and Meghalaya faces the brunt because of its proximity to the Golden Triangle. However, when it comes to efforts being made by the Social Welfare Department, if you can notice for yourself, in a span of 7 days, we have had 3 major programs under the DREAM mission. And today we could converse with a lot of youngsters in order to wean them away from drugs. On the other hand, we have also intensified policing, and the fact that raids have now started in areas that have not been covered in the past is also another major achievement of the state government. That apart, as we speak, the department is preparing a list of 10 fresh detainees who will be detained under the PIT NDPS, and so that it deters this kind of illegal and immoral trafficking. No, the process is on. We should be able to complete everything in a matter of 2 months or so. In those cases, there are some who have whose detention has already been extended by 1 more year. That is the status as of now. In the last interaction with the media, I had informed that we are also contemplating a K9 unit. Now that is functional. We have a dedicated dog squad, and also we are now in the process of having an administrative building in the Ratachera region, which is the gateway of Assam and Manipur entering Meghalaya. So we are also pursuing with the ministry about the procurement of a vehicle that actually scans and detects illicit narcotics. Well, first and foremost, I'm surprised by the timing of the position. I mean, the President of India had come to lay the foundation stone of the project 2 years ago in the month of January, meaning January 24. Now, even before the arrival of the first citizen of the country, let us not forget that this project was also a major initiative and a request made by, number 1, the Raj Laban Lun, which we believe combines, is a conglomeration of all the Rashnamas of that area, 1. 2, the project was also proactively supported by the elected representative of that area, Sanbor Shulai. And 3, once work started on the ground, a lot of local masons, residents of the Laos Open, for instance, were engaged in labor. Now, for somebody to suddenly realize after 2.5 years that this is bad, I don't understand the logic of it all. I do not know what is the agenda behind the opposition, but please rest assured that this is a project that is going to benefit not just tourists, not only facilitate free movement of tourists, but also those farmers who will be able to ferry the produce in a record time of 3 minutes from the base to the top of Shillong Peak. It is going to be the first of its kind in the country, in a hill station, and the model adopted is also equivalent to what we have in the Alps in Switzerland. And if a project of that scale has had any negative effect on the Alps, we would have known by now. So you will always have critics, and the problem with a lot of people is that they first close their minds, and after that they open their mouths. That is you are talking of a number of how many people. Yesterday I watched the comments, and one local resident stated that I stay in this area and these monkeys have been pestering us for the past 15 years. So how do you put the blame on the ropeway project today? No, you have to look at the entire dossier of documents. Each document was then forwarded to the ministry, which is why it has finally received the stamp of approval of the Ministry of Forest and Environment. And it's not a matter of joke that a ministry of that caliber agreeing to the proposal and then inviting the first citizen of the country. Do you think the President of India would not have got everything cross-checked so that her name will not be dragged into a controversy? How would she benefit if this project besmirches her name and her stature as President of India? As a parliamentarian and in my individual capacity, I think the best course of action whenever there is any element of doubt or controversy is for that particular bill to be referred to a joint parliamentary committee, a JPC. A JPC will have all the wherewithal, the input to scrutinize every single line so that these legislations do not impinge upon anybody's. So, in simple terms, send this to a JPC. Well, I'm happy that I was part of the team. I was instrumental in getting the entire Thiah stretch vacated. And this is only part of wholesome urban development where we do not throw people away, but we construct alternative spaces for them. And those spaces have all facilities, water, electricity, and they are washroom facilities, and their produce and the sellers are also protected from the elements because these are well constructed shelters. Well, when the vendors first moved, people said Thiah has become too quiet. Now when musicians move in, you say Thiah has become too noisy. So what option do we have now?
Kanong ba bernihan kadon ha upod usam ha pedeng ka Assam bat Meghalaya kawe kathem artli ki jala ha kabenta jong ka Assam dan kumba ar phaudli ki karkhana red category but ka Central Pollution Control Board kalapin banaya ka te ka than kum ka jaka ka belong critically pollutant hang ta kadon ka air quality monitor ka balapin pa ya ka khubor bala pau perthai ha kabenta jong ka Meghalaya pan dan tang santali ki karkhana red category ka jo ka le air ka baya bentalang hinrai ka jingmi jabo ka ya pher de nakata ka daw kini artli ki jala menta kis dang pen khre banthau ya ka joint action plan